My number one tip for being in quarantine is be very kind to the people around you because you ain't going nowhere.
I clean myself about 8 or 9 times a day, a full body wash with a toothbrush where I reach into every nook and cranny. People kind of mock me, but I'm fresh.
Gentlemen, welcome to my hangout. Feel free to put your feet up, have a snack. How's it going?
It's going great. We're really excited to present this show. We made it a little while ago, and we've been dying to share it with the world. So I'm really flattered that you're interested.
Yeah, Moonbase 8, we don't do spoilers here. I caught the first 6, loved it. It was hilarious. One of the things that kept coming back to me is like you three guys in isolation on this Moonbase. Who could relate possibly in this world today to such isolation? You got to give me some tips, guys, because this is the first time I've brushed my hair in like 6 weeks.
My number one tip for being in quarantine is be very kind to the people around you because you ain't going nowhere. You've got to, mirror back the way you want to be treated because conflict gets crazy in quarantine. I've seen so many relationships go up in flames. So just be nice.
I would say also cherish your snacks and appreciate them for what they are. On the show, we eat something all the time called beef style stew. So whatever food you have around, just treat it like it's the most delicious thing you've ever had.
And keep clean. I mean, I clean myself about 8 or 9 times a day, a full body wash with a toothbrush where I reach into every nook and cranny. And I've been doing that since the day one and I just, it's 8 or 9 showers a day as people kind of mock me, but I'm fresh.
Our water tank is empty. I've started up the urine recycling machine.
That is very salty.
Now, one of the things I love about movies and TV shows about astronauts is to hear about the actors and like the great lengths they have to go to train to become an astronaut. Like Tom Hanks in Apollo 13, being in Zero Gravity and the Vomit Comet. What kind of training did you guys go through to prepare for Moonbase 8?
We trained by visiting SpaceX and visiting JPL and seeing how these programs work in reality, at least the rocket type programs. And then we've been training with being idiots
our whole lives
for most of our careers. So our characters are somewhat flawed candidates for this lunar mission. So, I think, John, you got very jazzed on the rover. And when the rover was delivered about a few days before we started shooting, the training really was you doing donuts up and down the parking lot where we were shooting it. And that was probably the extent of our serious training.
It was interesting you mentioned being flawed characters. I know all 3 of you were writers on the piece, and you kind of did a great job of giving each of the characters these great backstories. Like John, your failures with your marriage and your helicopter business, and Fred trying to live up to your family member, Tim, your family, and trying to bring religion to space. Is it important to ground comedy or in something real or something that people can relate to? Was that important to you when writing this piece?
Well, yeah, it was important to us that we weren't just making fun of these people because, in fact, Tim, Fred, and I, and Jonathan Kreisel, who directed the show, we all have a lot of respect for the space program and the ambitiousness of that and the nobility of expanding humankind's knowledge through exploration of space. It's not something we think is a joke. In fact, all the humor in the show comes from our not meeting the high expectations of NASA a lot of times. So, it was important to us to not just have a show that was just cynically funny.
Right.
That it has the jokes always on these guys, but you come to root for them. That was really important to us, that they weren't just people that you were laughing at. You found them funny. Hopefully find them funny, and that you also want them to succeed.
Launch sequence beginning in 9, 8,
9,
7,
8,
6.
5.
Stand by. Let's sync
4.
up. Abort.
3.
Abort. Stand by, Cab.
Launching.
No.
Yeah!
Okay, Tim, this next question is for you. And John and Fred, I don't want you guys to feel left out. So while I'm asking Tim this question, I'd like you to think about what's your favorite scent?
Ooh, it's easy.
Now, Tim, I know you're a Pennsylvania guy,
Yeah.
and there's a strong debate between, all of the local gas station food eatery places. Where do you stand on the Wawa versus Sheetz debate?
No question. Wouldn't take me a second of thought to say Wawa. I'm a Wawa man. They're out of, but I'll give you one more. There's a Turkey Hill. If you're familiar with Turkey Hill, that is even closer to my part of Pennsylvania. But the Wawa Shorty, which is their hoagie, it's not, none of it's great. These are gas stations we're talking about here. Okay.
I was hoping we were going to get some free product out of it, and you just.
Sorry. I just want to make sure people know where I'm coming from.
Okay. And Fred, what is your favorite scent?
Chocolate.
Oh, nice.
Love the smell of chocolate.
John, what do you got?
The sound of chocolate? Is that what you said? My favorite.
Did I say sound?
Just the sweet, smooth, buttery sound of chocolate.
If you're familiar with a flower called Freesia.
Oh.
Freesia to me is probably the most delightful smell on earth.
When this is over, I'm going to hop over to Wawa, see if I can get a Freesia candle. And that way I can...
and get some chocolate with it.
And get some... I know what chocolate smells like.
But it sounds like, I guess if you snap a chocolate bar in half, there is a sort of sound to it.
Sound to it, yeah. No, that's true. Now, I'm the gaming editor here at Xfinity, and there's this game that has gotten really popular recently called Among Us. And what it is you're a member of a team on a Moonbase, and you're trying to fix the Moonbase, but there are people trying to kill you who are imposters. So my question for you, for all of our gaming fans, is what kind of tips would you give for somebody trying to deceive, or conversely, somebody trying to uncover some deception?
I don't know if I want to give tips on how to deceive people. Like those are
think we are.
Those are actors' trade secrets.
Oh.
That's what we do for a living.
True, yeah.
Fred, any good ways to detect deception?
When I've got a contractor fixing something in my house, I try to act like I know what they're talking about. I have a confidant yeah, that seems to be the problem. But I think they're just this guy does not know. Why is he nodding his head?
Here's a great one. So I love this show called The First 48. It's a reality show about homicide detectives. And this is one of the facts that I learned from this show. That if you give someone, for instance, you're interviewing someone about a murder and it's someone that they know or knew has died. And you say to them, hey, Tim, I don't know if you know this, but Fred died. And Tim has this reaction where he goes, what? Fred died?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it looks like he's getting emotional and he's going to cry, but no water actually comes out of his eyes. 100% lying. It's a homicide detective thing. They can tell, when someone is evoking an emotional response, but then actual water doesn't come out of their eyes, 100% of the time they're lying.
So any of those actors that can cry on command are probably homicidal maniacs.
Well, that's a different scenario. When you're actually interrogating someone, that's a different thing than recreating something as an actor.
I can never lie because I've got this Irish German thing where I get real red. I get real red in my neck and my face if I'm stressed or in an uncomfortable situation. So I can't fool anybody.
So Moonbase 8, super excited for it. I've been struggling as a TV person, reviewer, trying to find a pull quote for it. So maybe if I could run one by you. It was
a great motto for the show if you want to use it. What do you
got?
Failure is now an option.
Oh, that's good.
That is good. But it's got to be something that, for me, hyping it up, it's Gordon Holmes of Xfinity says, and what I had was Moonbase 8, it's out of this world.
That's pretty clever.
Wow.
So in other words, it's a reference to the idea of traveling.
Right.
But we're in the world, not out.
Yeah, see, it's false advertising because we actually never leave the Earth.
What about Moonbase 8? It's Moonbase great.
I got a good
That's
one.
actually great.
I got a good one. Moonbase 8. What else are you going to do? You've already seen Tiger King.
That's not bad. So, we're going to wrap it up. Moonbase 8, again, I watched the first 6, loved it. You said you did a couple interviews today. Where are you ranking us on that list? And keep in mind,
you're way
sensitive.
Up there. You're way up there. You're very you're nice. You're polite. Everyone's been really great today. So I also like your background.
Thank you.
Those are cool. So
I like
I think this is
because
up there.
you guys are the first people, like you're the front lines. We've heard like from our family that they like the show, but we haven't heard from no one else. You know, this is like the first time we're hearing from anybody. So it's nice to hear.
Moonbase 8, check it out.
Thank
It's
you
out of this
Thank
world.
you.
The vast stretches of the unknown. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it, and the moon and the planets are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.